It all started late one night. Just after 2 a.m., I felt the slight dip of the mattress as my wife, Talia, carefully slipped out of bed. We'd been married for 6 years, and I knew her well enough to notice when something was off. I kept my eyes nearly shut, watching through barely parted lashes. Afghanistan had taught me that pretending to sleep sometimes gave you the upper hand. I listened as she tiptoed into the hallway, then down the stairs. 10 minutes passed before I followed. I found her sitting on the couch, bathed in the dim blue glow of my phone screen. Not hers, mine. She'd managed to unlock it somehow. Maybe while I was asleep. Maybe earlier. She was installing something. An app with a bland name. One that wouldn't raise suspicion among the others. Her hands moved with precision, like this wasn't the first time she'd done something like this. When she heard a creak in the floorboard behind her, she turned quickly. "You startled me," she said with a forced smile. "What are you doing with my phone?" I asked, my voice calm. "I was just checking the pictures we took at dinner," she replied smoothly. "Yours came out better." I nodded slowly. "Bring it back upstairs when you're done." I turned away without waiting for more lies. She thought she was clever. What she didn't know was that I'd already received a security alert earlier that day. Someone had tried to log into my Sandbox account, a replica banking interface I'd designed months ago for this exact reason. I had a strong feeling who it was. And now, I had confirmation. 3 days later, she was gone. It wasn't mysterious. No break-in. No note of concern. Just absence. I came home from the gym that Friday to a half-empty closet, a cleared vanity, and her jewelry case stripped. A note lay on the kitchen counter. "Don't call. I've moved on. You'll manage. I'm finally choosing happiness." Taped to it was a printed bank statement showing a $400,000 withdrawal from the decoy account she'd accessed. I didn't panic. I didn't shout. I simply walked into my study, powered on my secure terminal, and checked my real accounts, hidden and untouched. Talia had taken the bait. She'd accessed a bank interface that looked identical to my real one. Same design, same alerts, same everything, except it was fake. Completely offline. The $400,000 she thought she stole? It was cryptocurrency from a burner wallet I'd set up and labeled, half-jokingly, as a fantasy fund. Meanwhile, the actual money had been quietly moved into a trust under my name alone. All legal. All traceable. And she never noticed. I traced her digital steps, IP addresses, login times, downloads. I even had logs from the server she'd accessed. Every move had been recorded. As I closed my laptop, I lit a cigar and watched the sky shift colors. She thought she'd just pulled off the perfect con. What she didn't know was that she'd been playing a game I'd created. She came back the following Tuesday. I heard the garage door open, then the sharp sound of heels against the marble. I didn't get up. I was at the dining table, sipping coffee in a tailored black suit, smooth jazz playing in the background. Talia walked in like a queen returning from her castle, tan, styled, radiating confidence. She dragged 2 designer suitcases behind her and dropped her purse on the couch. She held up a silver flash drive like a trophy. "Didn't think it'd be this easy," she said with a smirk. "Thanks to your phone habits. That $400,000 felt pretty sweet in Europe." She dropped into the chair across from me, completely unbothered. "You don't mind, right? Just had to test that little emergency fund." I looked at her for a moment, then laughed softly. "What's so funny?" she asked, frowning slightly. I turned the laptop toward her and hit play. First, footage of her at the airport kissing her boyfriend. Then video of her using my phone at midnight, the fake transaction going through, and her checking into a resort in Ibiza. Next, I opened a legal document, certified evidence of fraud and theft, timestamped and filed. She paled. What is this?" "That," I said, standing, "is the beginning of the end of your little fantasy." She scoffed. "You're bluffing. You have no proof." I raised a brow. "That flash drive in your bag? I cloned it last night. Every file, every GPS tag, every action, it's all there. Your phone didn't just access a fake bank. It recorded everything. Keystrokes, movements, locations." "No, that's not. All of it is admissible," I said calmly. And I haven't even contacted the authorities, yet. Her face fell. But the money's gone. We spent it. What do you even want? I leaned in. You. Right then, the doorbell rang. She jumped. I didn't. I walked to the door and opened it slowly. A man in a navy suit stood outside, composed, holding a badge. Detective Warren Matthews, Financial Crimes Division, he said. We have some questions. I stepped aside. And just like that, the game was over. Come in, I said. Another man entered, plainclothes, carrying a black folder and a tablet. Talia's jaw dropped. What is this? You called the police? I allowed a smile to spread across my face. Not quite. Detective Matthews isn't here to arrest you. Yet. He's just here to verify something. Matthews sat across from her and opened his folder. Tone measured and professional. Miss Talia Brandt, we've got signed receipts and travel logs connecting your passport, your phone's IP address, and a man's bank account to a string of luxury purchases across Spain, France, and Italy, jewelry, first-class flights, hotels, clubs. Do you deny spending the last 2 weeks in Europe with a man named Alec Rains? Talia looked at me, panic blooming in her eyes. You gave them everything. I shrugged. Didn't have to. Alec did. Her expression cracked. What? I slid my phone across the table. On screen, a live photo from this morning, Alec in cuffs, being led out of a high-end condo in LA. Turns out Alec wasn't just your fling. He's a known con artist, under investigation for multiple major fraud cases. You didn't realize it, but he was using you too, cleaning his money through your fancy new lifestyle. Matthews nodded. We picked him up today. He's been talking non-stop. We have screen recordings, chat logs, videos. He even said you set up the fake bank transfers. Talia's breathing grew shallow. I didn't know. He told me you were hiding money. Oh, I was, I said, sipping coffee. Just not for the reason you thought. I crossed to the wall safe, keyed in a code, and pulled out a thick black folder stamped in gold. I placed it in front of her. Divorce papers. Supported by documented fraud. And that money you thought you took. I continued. Fake. The account was a simulation, dummy routing numbers, no real funds. You stole nothing. Her face crumbled. As for the travel, the flights, the hotels, they were all prepaid using a burner credit card I cancelled the moment your plane landed. Matthews added, she'll still face charges for intent and aiding a known felon. Talia paled. You destroyed me. No, I said coldly. You did that to yourself. I just held up the mirror. 2 days after Matthews escorted her away, now out on bail and holed up in a shabby motel, I poured a glass of scotch and sat down with my laptop. Time for the final move. She always mocked me for being too straight-laced, too trusting. What she never understood was that I was also patient and prepared. Long before her betrayal, I had hired a cybersecurity expert to monitor all device activity. When she tried installing spyware, we intercepted it and deployed a fake banking platform, completely fabricated balances, mirrored interfaces, and digital traps. She had seen only what I wanted her to see. Now, I uploaded a video to an unlisted link on YouTube. The footage opened with security cam clips of her sneaking into my study after midnight. Then came screenshots of the dummy account, time-stamped images of her and Alec toasting champagne in Paris, and finally, Alec's own voice from his confession. Talia was the easiest mark I've ever had. Thought she was running the con. Joke's on her. I shared the link, with her HR department, her firm's partners, her high society friends, and yes, even her parents, the ones who once told me, you're lucky she chose you. It didn't take long. My phone lit up with messages, voicemails. Word spread fast. Her company placed her on indefinite unpaid leave. Her Instagram disappeared. Jessica, her closest friend, left a voicemail. I can't believe she did this to you. I'm so sorry. If you need to talk, I'm here. I deleted it. Then, the call I'd been waiting for. Unknown number. I answered. You think you've won? Talia's voice was raw, nearly broken. No, I said evenly. Winning would mean I wanted revenge. I didn't. I wanted peace. You made me earn it the hard way. I'll tell everyone you manipulated me, gaslit me, that this was all your setup. Go ahead, I replied. They've all seen the footage. Maybe focus on a plea deal instead of sympathy. She said nothing. Then the line cut. The next morning, headlines broke: corporate executive tied to international fraud, romantic links to infamous con man. I turned off my phone, packed a single duffel, and headed to the airport. One-way ticket. Iceland. As I passed through security, a final text came in. You were never boring. You were terrifying. I smiled, boarded the plane, and left behind the wreckage she caused, and the quiet empire I built beneath it all. A year later, October air crisp in Reykjavik, I stood on the balcony of my modern cabin, gazing over still waters and snowy peaks. The peace was unlike anything I'd felt in years. I had kept my promise to myself. After the betrayal, I sold off the last of my US consultancy shares and launched a discreet digital forensics firm under a network of proxies. It wasn't for profit. It was for people like me, blindsided, betrayed, under-equipped to fight back. I called it the Lighthouse Initiative. Quiet, calculated, relentless. Talia? She wasn't the woman who once strutted out of our home with $500,000 and a suitcase full of delusion. After her firing and the leaked video, her reputation imploded. Alec had used her just like everyone else. He escaped to Dubai under a fake name, but authorities caught up. He traded full cooperation for leniency, handing over every message, every photo of their joint fraud. She was arrested again 6 months later. She dodged prison through a plea deal, but the court-ordered restitution wiped her out. With wrecked credit and no career, she now handled gym bookings in a rundown Nevada strip mall. Her final message was a one-line email. Do you ever miss what we had? I didn't open it. I didn't need to. As for Alec, his sloppy escape left a digital trail. He now sits in a Bahrain prison, serving a decade for financial crimes. I didn't rebuild by forgetting the past. I turned it into something sharp. I kept my ethics. I stayed silent during the storm. When the time came, I didn't need to yell. The truth did all the talking. The best revenge isn't fury. It's building quietly, stronger, wiser, right where they thought you'd fall.